Hey, how's it going, guys? Domino Paris 21 here, and back again after quite some time to bring you guys another episode of Why I Play This Deck. Now, just for any new viewers out there, or just for a refreshment for you guys, Why I Play This Deck is a segment where I essentially take the time to talk about certain decks or clans that I do play in Vanguard, and usually I'll have a special guest and such, you know, whoever shares the same deck as me, and basically just share with you guys my own personal experiences with the deck, what I like, what I love, and just overall why I play this deck. So of course, after a lot of anticipation, I kind of just waited until like all the Kagero stuff, all the relevant Kagero stuff finally came out to actually do this. So rather than actually picking, well, as you see here, we're actually doing Kagero. Now, rather than picking a specific Kagero deck, I actually decided to just, well, jam it all together and just put them all in one video because, well, Kagero has a lot of different varieties to go about, and they've always been like one of the best supported clans in the game.
Yeah, I think they're the most supported clan.
I think literally they are, definitely. So yeah, well, talking about Kageros, why not have my special guest, Mr. JuanMango here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy JuanMango.
He has a louder voice than me.
Yes.
Makes me feel a little
significant.
A little small. But yeah, Juan Mango here, of course, one of our local players, of course, long-time Kagero player. Definitely he's been through a lot of experiences with Kagero, just as much as I have, so he definitely has a lot of great things to share. But of course, Mr. Juan Mango, since you're new to this channel, to a lot of viewers, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Like I said, you know, I'm Juan Mango. I have a YouTube channel that I started up a couple months ago, just because I wanted to just, I guess, get my ideas out and just help. It helps you with like understanding the game more and just seeing your matches on videos and then actually talking about stuff. It makes you think a little bit more about the game. So that's why I kind of started the channel, and plus I was in Zach's channel. Shout out to Zach. Yeah, so I was in his channel and I was playing a lot. So then I just started my own channel, but I just started loving Kageros because at first I wanted to get a Royal Paladin deck, but they were out, so I got a Kagero deck, and then I just fell in love with just Dragonic Overlord. One, he's the first 11K. Just to tell you, how good is that?
I mean, I remember when the game first started, like that was like the OP 11.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk about it now. Like most of our stuff are 11K, but like but remember when we started out the game, and then it's like that extra 1,000 was just brutal.
It makes a difference.
It makes a difference, yeah. Because if they're attacking for 20, okay, Alfred, he attacks for 20. You just drop a 10 and a 5 for 2 to pass.
So pretty much, being Dragonic Overlord starting off as the 11K, one of the rare units that actually had 11K starting the game, it just really signifies how strong Kagero is. And as you see here, Kagero is definitely revolutionized to have all these different bosses and such.
Yeah.
But me personally for Kagero, of course, Kagero is like my #1 clan. I did expand into other clans and such because I was waiting for the end to come out when I first saw it. But Dragonic Overlord, of course, was like one of my original avatars because again, everyone was playing Royal Paladins. I was like, I'll just play Dragonic Overlord. I mean, it's a badass sword-wielding dragon. I mean, it's awesome. It's cool.
Yeah.
So, and then of course I expanded with Blazing Flare Kagero being like my first official deck I have posted on my channel. It's actually my first video when I first started Vanguard. And then of course I expanded to other decks, and Juan Mango, of course, here has been experimenting his own and such. Mr. Juan Mango, I'm going to go ahead and just let you kick things off in terms of Kagero. So, overall, what made you really wanted to play Kagero? What is it about Kagero that really drew you in compared to other clans?
I would say the controlling aspect. A lot of people think that Kagero is supposed to be just like power, attack, but especially when the end came out, I found it to be like, okay, I'm at 13 base, yeah, and I can attack for 21 and all this and that, but I used to play a version, and you've seen it, and a lot of people seen it before, where it was stand. It stands to make him dance, which usually I just made my opponent either whittle down his field and just control his field. And that's something about this deck, is that you can control the field and control my opponent. So I know you like to control your opponent and make sure that you have things in hand when you're playing your opponent. And Kagero gives you that because you can retire things. If something's annoying you, Conroe, retire it, or even Heat Nail. you know, just a lot of things. You have answers for a lot of things that your opponent can do. Exactly.
Screw this card.
It's like one of my favorite cards. Yeah, I mean, that's always what I've been drawn to Kagero. I mean, the playstyle I've always been affiliated with, especially with the previous card games that I've played. I've always been a very controlled type of player. I always feel safe entering a game knowing that my deck is capable of having answers to what my opponent has on the field. I mean, one of my favorite cards in Kagero all time is Berserk Dragon, period. He's always been broken when he first came out, and he's still very powerful now. He's, I mean, very relevant to a lot of to pretty much like almost all these decks. Just free kills on the field, ways to control. You have other key pressure cards, of course.
Oh man, my favorite is
Heat Nail.
Heat Nail. Oh my gosh. When this card first came out, I thought, I'm like, oh man, you know, it's not good or whatever. But just when I actually played it, and just the pressure that you give your opponent when your opponent is looking at a Heat Nail and they're like, okay, if you have it on the rear guard and then you're attacking with, let's say, Overlord at the end, they're like, okay, if I can only block one thing, what am I blocking? Am I going to block the end with Twin Drive, or am I going to block Heat Nail? But I need my grade 1. So sometimes it gives your opponent kind of, you know, you're giving your opponent choices.
They feel uneasy.
Yeah, they feel very uneasy. Like, one of my best columns, I would say, was always Heat Nail and Bellicosity.
Especially turn 2.
Oh my gosh.
Turn 2 is amazing.
Yeah, Heat Nail and Bellicosity, you get your Counterblast back, and you get to retire something.
Double skill hit.
You know, it's just, if it hits, it's great because you get to do a lot of effects. So, but with the stand deck that I used to run, I used to, let's say, hit with the Vanguard. A great column that I used to have was this one, but I used to hit with this. If my opponent let me hit, I counterblast, I retrieve a counterblast, I retire something, and then I swing with the Vanguard. If I get a double stand, and it has happened, I stand this column back up, give him power, and attack again, hit, and retire something. So I got to retire 2 things in 1 turn.
So much derpiness. I've seen it happen. Or like I've seen you hit with your Vanguard, you stand the Heat Nail, and then you boost the Vanguard attack again.
Exactly.
There's definitely, like, that's one thing with Kagero. They have such a lot of great cards for utility and different options and choices for your deck. And of course, why not, I mean, of course, to sum up all this utility they have, you have like the best starter in the game.
Yeah.
Conroe, to be able to search all that. So it does bring a higher level of consistency for Kagero compared to other decks.
Especially now. Yeah. Especially now. Especially now. You cannot say enough on how good that is. Yeah, there you go. A grade 1.
I can get that. Get the, I can't find him. I thought we were more prepared, but you know.
Nah, whatever.
Yeah,
you can get him.
You can get Ashgar. I boost for 23. Or
so, like a key, you see, you can get the grade 1s, and then some people are like, okay, why are you going to get a draw trigger out? If you can Superior Ride with Cruel Dragon and you have him in hand, you can be at turn 3, you can be at grade 4. So sometimes I can get him if I have 2 damage and I don't have any way to destroy anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of key plays and such.
Oh, and destroy the starter, that's big.
Kill the starters.
You know what I'm saying?
Even in the mirror match is powerful.
Oh yeah, kill the starters in the mirror match.
So, I mean, that's one thing with Kagero is that they have a lot of ways to consistently get to their main strategy, and that's really what made Kagero one of the premier decks consistently in tournament scene, because they're just very consistent. And as I always say in a lot of my videos, including my Meta Talk videos, consistency will win you most of your games in Vanguard. And I mean, Kagero is like the pinnacle of it.
Yeah, you got, and even off decks that people think like, oh, Seal Dragons. But Seal Dragons are, like, I think they're pretty annoying. They're really annoying and they're really good. Because you can just go ahead and just destroy all their grade 1s and their boosters.
Grade 2s.
No, destroy their grade 1s.
Yeah.
Destroy the grade 1s with like Corduroy, and then just blow up their field. You know what I'm saying? Get all the grade 2s out, destroy all the grade 1s, and then next thing you know, you're left with boosting with triggers, and that's the thing that I used to love, is when I would destroy everything enough where my opponent starts putting down bad columns, and you control the game.
Like, you can really swing the game in your favor that way. Now, of course, we talked about, you know, how consistent is Kagero, all their utilities, but let's get to the really good part, their bosses and such. So we're actually going to go a little bit one by one with a few of the key bosses for Kagero, and fortunately we can't fit all of them because I don't have all the cards. But we're gonna go and just give our own personal thoughts.
There's too many bosses anyway.
There's so many, but yeah, let's actually get to that. All right, now starting off with, of course, the OG of Kagero, badass sword wielding dragon. Of course, you have the DO, Dragonic Overlord. Of course, I mean, as me and Juan mentioned, this was our first avatar. Now, when I first mentioned Dragonic Overlord, I remember in the anime seeing, well, of course, his evolution, Mega Evolve.
Broken card when it came out.
Dragonic Overlord, the end. Twin Buster Cannons. So I just remembered when I remember when I was just getting into the game, and I remember seeing him in the anime. I was like, oh my god, this thing is so cool. This thing is so awesome. And I was like, hey, Warliken, when is this card coming out? And
February.
when is that? Next year.
Next year.
Oh, okay, great. So of course, you know, I had to wait 1 year, but within that 1 year, Kagero has been revolutionizing with different bosses, different ways to play the deck, so I had my chance to have my little fun with different ways to play the deck. I mean, there was Lawkeeper, there was Blazing Flare, which I don't have these cards right now to show you guys.
I know.
But the beginning stage of Kagero, especially Season 1, I mean, it was the end. I mean, let's face it. But, of course, JuanMango, what was your experience leading up to the end? You know, obviously you have to wait for that 1 year. What was your experience with Kagero like up to that point until reaching the end?
Well, like you're saying, just playing Lawkeeper and being able to bind your opponent's field and what was that? What was that other boss card that used to gain 3,000 when
Dual Axe.
Dual Axe.
Yeah, Dual Axe.
Yeah, so you would run, you would run him and then Dual Axe and then just make power columns and just
overpowers
and the thing about it is you counterblast 1. You bind your opponent's field. So it's not like counterblast 3 and then you can't do it anymore. You kept doing it every single turn. If you stayed alive, you just okay, counterblast 20, 20, 20 plus, 20 plus, 20 plus.
That deck was nuts. That deck was nuts when 10k Vanguards were a thing, especially with gold paladins around. Then of course with Lawkeeper, then finally followed Dragonic Overlord at the end. I mean, he was like a dominant deck.
Yeah.
In his prime, post set 5.
I felt like, you know, you get the 13, you get the
pressure.
And this was the first 13 deck, right?
13k base?
One of two.
Yeah.
One of two. Overlord being the other.
Well, he was 12, yeah.
Someone's gonna say that.
Yeah, you're right.
I know someone's gonna say the great for great nature. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. It was there for a limited time, but
for all of like 2 months.
It was like when Crosswise was first introduced. So you know, having a 13k body was unheard of, and the fact is, you get a. I mean, I think it was the first really OP restanding Vanguard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you hit. The thing about it is, it doesn't have limit break. So you have 2 counterblasts. When you ride to him, you have 2 counterblasts. You're putting pressure automatically. It doesn't matter like when it is. You just have 2 damage. You're attacking. You're putting pressure, because your opponent doesn't know if you have one in hand. If you drive check 1, boom, you get to activate.
So much gambling, and it really just you attack and you let your opponent quiver and feel.
You let your opponent decide his fate.
Now,
hold on. So real quick, and then something that, you know, like I said before, when I was playing Stance, I felt like made this deck really good in a sense. I understand crits win you game, but I had so much fun playing this deck, especially before break rides, just in the sense that I could just keep standing, and you stand with this. You hit a rear guard, they let you hit it, you stand, you hit a stand trigger, stand the rear guard, attack the Vanguard.
So much wearing down.
Yeah, all you're doing is just
stands to make them dance. Stands to make them
I know, stands to make them.
I don't need no Chris, why I just make them stands, make them dance.
I tell you.
So, of course, you know, Dragonic Overlord had his nice fun ride around the set 5 meta, but of course with new sets coming out, of course, especially entering the break ride format, well, the deck had to evolutionize a little bit, evolve a little bit. So, hence comes forth.
Dauntless Driver Dragon.
Right, you put it.
Wherever you put him.
Where did I put it?
Where did he put him?
Where did I put it?
I don't know. Shit.
Where is it?
Dauntless Driver Dragon.
Alright, this is the SP. So, revolutionized into...
Never Endo! Never Endo!
So, Dauntless Drive Dragon, hence Dauntless Dode. Now, I know a lot of Kagero players are a little iffy with Dauntless Dode, but MrJuanMango, what is your overall thoughts of Dauntless Dode and how it helped at the end?
Just call it Dauntless in the end.
Yeah, I think in a sense it helped it just because, one, we needed a break ride, and at first I'm like, why do they give us a Vanguard that, one, Kagero has to do with stuff we're retiring. Now we're based on like, oh, we just stand again, and we stand again, and we stand again. And you're attacking for 21 plus. Just this here, just being like, oh, here, attack. All right, fine. Stand up, attack. More pressure, because it's like most of the time your opponent either takes the first one or they block the first one, they want to take the second one. You cannot take the second one. You cannot.
Can't risk it.
There was an original effect to it, but I think they changed it.
Oh yeah, if they left it how it was, if they left it, yeah, it would probably be
$50, triple rare, $100 SP.
Well, it's $50 right now.
Oh, well then $60.
Well, I'm not gonna talk about that.
$70, triple rare, $150 SP.
But it just in the sense that you could just stand again, and yeah, once this came out, you're running crits. You're running crits, and you're just putting pressure on your opponent. You got bellicosity, not bellicosity, but you got columns that can still attack for numbers, and then you're putting crits on them, and you're attacking with the Vanguard. So you're putting pressure. It's just pressure. This whole deck, just Kagero overall, it's just pressure, pressure, pressure.
Yeah, I mean, with Dauntless Dota, I mean, I know it's a little iffy for people just because, like, they don't necessarily synergize with each other, but, like, Dauntless Dragon is just a good break ride by himself. Like, definitely one of the best break rides in the game, just for how effective he is by himself.
Yeah, right.
But there's definitely some good plays I definitely like doing with the end, you know, especially if I open the Persona Blast and Dauntless Drive, I'll just ride the end first, try to get the Persona Blast off, and then just ride Dauntless and finish my opponent from there. It kind of gives the deck two different ways of winning, but it's more of two separate ways of winning. Either you beat your opponent down and Dauntless them, or if you have the end, you could just play, you know, traditional the end deck, the end dot deck. And if you have, I mean, the big play, you can go for like 3 attacks. Yes.
Which your opponent is not going to try to let you do, but...
Yeah, so, I mean, the deck kind of had a little bit of a split focus. It didn't really have a lot of synergy and such, but, I mean, that was before, you know, there was more units to actually synergize with Dauntless Drive Dragon. But, of course, post-set 11 with Dauntless Drive Dragon, there was a release of a new archetype for Kagero, which, of course, is...
Seal Dragon!
Seal Dragons. So now, looking at Seal Dragons, so Seal Dragons finally gave a sub-clan to Kagero. So, you know, that means K, Better Veer clones, and a little bit more of a synergistic playstyle for it. I know that Warlock 36 here actually played it as well.
Yep.
So
I still play it.
What I like about Seal Dragons compared to maybe other Kagero builds such as like the End is that Seal Dragons really focus on that control aspect on Kagero, not necessarily of just the pressure entirely. Although, I mean, I played Dauntless Drive Dragon with it, but it was just Blockade's a very powerful card to essentially sweep the opponent's field, and of course they have a lot of great key cards to help them with that.
Loco, crazy ass deck.
So much.
No corduroy.
No, I don't have them here, but yeah.
Oh,
Corduroy is the best one, yeah, of course.
You just retire anything and then...
They're trying on steroids.
And just in the sense, and you know, I know we're looking forward, but a little bit forward, but they also get their own break ride.
Weathercloth.
That'll be later though.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I'm just saying, like, just think
of more support.
Plus 10, retire 2 rear guards. The opponent's top 4 for up to 2 grade 2s.
You know, and like
so
he was saying,
an easy -2.
Like he was saying, you know, you play with Dauntless, a lot of people, but I felt like, you know, you kind of had to, because everybody else was playing Break Ride and they were getting off their skill. But you know, maybe just having playing it with a 13K, if you didn't have the money or the budget to get Dauntlesses because they're expensive.
SP.
Yeah, great. You have an SP.
I want $50.
Great job. But just the synergy, like you were saying, just, you know, you have a 10K booster that boosts Seal Dragons. You have a starter who retires. You have beaters, drop and draws.
They all synergize.
You get this one. Even if you ride this one and you just retire, your opponent can't intercept, and then you just sit there until you want a limit break. So
yeah, I mean, the focus of Seal Dragons, a lot of synergistic play, a lot of control. I mean,
a lot of control. You just.
They're gonna get some more support a little later, but yeah, overall amazing. And of course, just to top things off with the brand new boss for the game. Right. So of course, with extra booster, Kagero gained their own extra booster. It does bring forth a new boss. Yeah. Curtsy skirt wearing female dragon, go.
Grade 4. The mother.
Grade 4.
This is the mother.
So yes, definitely with Novell, it finally brings Kagero back to the competitive high tier map with a brand new.
With a brand new hub.
Which Kagero, it has dropped off. Before this set, it did drop off because You know, you had Shadow Paladins, and you just had all these. Even Norakami is just better. I felt because they had. Eradicators just had so much stuff they can do when you can pop the front row and not really lose anything. Where Kagero was more in the sense, if you're gonna destroy something, it was almost 1-for-1, unless if it was a Berserk Dragon.
Yeah, I mean.
But then you're counterblasting too.
Yeah, it's just the one thing with like Kagero is this, like I said with Dauntless Drive, they didn't really have anything that synergized well with it, or they kind of just needed an update to the boss, to their boss, because the end just wasn't cutting it as dominantly as he was before. But of course, now we have Novell. What's nice with Novell is that there's a few different approaches to how you want to build it. There's different ways you want to build the deck. So of course, with the 2 units you use, you have the Cruel Dragon and Dauntless Drive. So I know you can use these in combination with each other or just go with one or the other, but Cruel Dragon of course adds the speed to Novell, as JuanMango actually personally has on his channel. He loves Cruel Dragon a lot.
Yeah, I think Cruel Dragon in a sense because if you get the right hand, and you can even ask Warlike in here, if you get the right hand, you can go.
You just go off.
Well, you go turn 3, you write Novell.
Yeah. I've done it multiple times.
When you can go grade 3 while your opponent's at grade 1.
Yup.
So it adds speed to the deck.
And by the time they hit grade 2, you're already at 13k. You can't damage check.
It's pretty nuts. And then of course the Dauntless Drive, it does give you the option of just going those power plays, power pushes with Novell. I mean, being able to have a Silent Tom that attacks twice with plus 10k is pretty devastating if you don't have multiple perfect guards, because no zeros. So there's definitely a great combination now to work with, and of course with the new boss, there's definitely a lot to play around with too. And as long as we have Conroe, the deck's consistent.
Oh yeah, as long as you have Conroe, because you can go ahead and just get 2. You can get different cards in the deck just to make it work. If you get a grade 4, you're set. Like you get your grade 1, grade 2, you get a grade 4, you're good. You get a grade 1, grade 2, and a grade 3, then you're set. But if you get a 1 or 2 or 4, a 3 or 4, doesn't matter. You're set because you can get that grade 1 to get you that grade 3.
Novell Roman.
It's just so consistent, like always. I mean, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me what I think about Novell. Well, to sum it up, Novell's OP. Novell's strong. Novell's good. It's one of the best.
And just real quick to not forget about this guy.
You can damage check.
But not to forget about this guy. I like this card in the sense because finally we had a Vanguard that can actually get crit in the at the Vanguard circle.
It can enable itself.
Yeah, it can enable itself and then just get a crit. And if you do Dauntless with this,
that's the first one ever. I didn't realize that.
If you do Dauntless with this, I just feel like, yeah, you're giving up probably cards in hand, but you're putting pressure on your opponent. And even if you just ride it and you're at limit break, you're only counterblasting once to get at 20 to be at 21 when you attack. So
it's a lot of fun to play. It's cheap, so definitely for any budget players, you know, looking out for some fun decks to play an extra booster, try that Blast Bulk out.
Blast Bulk is legit. So
or got a set of Dauntless Drive Dragons, but don't have an extra, but spend all that money so you don't have any for Novell. Play Blast Bulk.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sums up everything. Definitely special thanks to Mr. JuanMango for feeding us his experience for.
Yo, it's your boy JuanMango.
Yeah.
Oh, and hey, she's pretty.
Oh yeah, Maria. So many perfects, so many perfects, so many perfects. So yeah, but don't forget to subscribe to JuanMango. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Oh wait, I didn't say what I was gonna say.
Oh good.
Oh, and like I always say, I'm not the best Vanguard player in the world, but I'm alright though.
Yeah.